Simply Scuba presents the Deco Stop podcast.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Deco Stop. My name is Mark, a scuba diving instructor. I'm joined today with Sean.
What up, dudes?
Not a dive instructor, but we're trying to work out where you are on the scuba diving spectrum, aren't we?
Yeah, I was going to say, which spectrum are you putting me on this week? The diving spectrum.
No, yeah, we basically, Sean hasn't gone through any kind of official scuba diving training, but he's been with me for 5 years or so. So hopefully some of it's gone.
If only
gone
there's
into
a
his head.
video that might be coming out soon, within the next, I don't know, couple of hours.
I can neither confirm nor deny. But yeah, it's definitely worth subscribing to the Simply Scuba YouTube channel because there's going to be some interesting content coming up.
Definitely.
So whilst we're talking about new and interesting things, going straight on to website updates for simplyscuba.com, the bestest scuba diving website around. So the first thing I have on my list is that we actually have a lot of new X-Deep products. So if you head over to the website, along the top, sort of bar header section, there's a little special section called New In, where it ranks everything by what's the brand newest. And there's a lot of X-Deep stuff. I know we mentioned it last week in the podcast, but actually there's even much more stuff now. So it's definitely worth checking out. Everything from like complete backplate and harness systems to like small slidable D-rings, which are quite handy. If you want a D-ring on a webbing harness, normally they're sort of fixed in position with the tri-glider, but X-Deep have got this sort of special sliding version. So if you grab hold of the D-ring and like clip things off onto it, it's not going to move. But if you want to move it to slide it down, if you've got aluminium tanks and their buoyancy changes during the dive, you want to move it a little bit further down, then you can do that on the fly. So check those out. The Fourth Element Hydra dry suit is now in stock. So this is Fourth Element's latest dry suit. It came out in a really awkward time, just as the pandemic hit, basically. But it's a neoprene dry suit, and it's very nice and sleek, and but it's very tough and very warm as well. So definitely worth checking out if you're looking for a neoprene dry suit. The seams themselves, they have like 4 different layers of protection, basically. So yeah, really nice sort of dry suit. As soon as I can get one sort of out, I'll show you it really close up. And that leads really nicely into the next section, which is more unboxing and / review videos are coming. So they're basically, we're going to slightly change the product review videos for March, basically. So there's going to be 2 separate versions. There's going to be one version which is dedicated for the website, because on every product, basically, yeah, every product, at the bottom of the product page, there'll be an embedded video in the Simply Scuba website, so that it's basically me showing you all around the product, what's going to arrive, and what each sort of part does. But then there's going to be a separate longer video on the YouTube, so if you're not subscribed, you definitely should, where it'll be exactly the same. It'll be me introducing the product, and then I'll unbox it, show you exactly what comes with it, show you around the product, and then at the end, which won't be on the website version, I'll do a more honest review based on sort of who the product's for, where it sits in different price ranges, and sort of basically whether you should or shouldn't buy that particular piece of equipment. So yeah, stay tuned for those. I think they're just going to be called unboxings.
Yeah, I'm just going to call them unboxings. But yeah, the videos on the website, the only way you'll be able to see them is on the website. They're not going to go live on. So if you're thinking, well, hold on, am I going to get 2 videos, basically the same video twice? You're not going to. One video is going to be one video's website.
We thought of that.
Yeah, it's going to be unlisted. You're not going to be able to find it unless you actually physically go to the product. But then also as well, that will tell us how many people click on the video on the website and whether it warrants actually doing that version as well. Because in, say, 3 months' time, if all the unlisted stuff, if they get a couple of views, there's no point in us doing that edit and then we can tell people like, well, look, it's not working. The only reason why our videos get watched is because they go live on YouTube. But
yeah,
that's another story. But I'm really excited about that because it's been something that we've been trying to master for years. Because people go on about price, they go on about real honesty, but then obviously we've always had to do it where it's the website first with the product review. So it's nice just to have that difference, should we say? So targeting two different audiences. We've got the generic unboxing for the website that just tells you what's in the box and what the product does. Obviously, you have that for YouTube, like Mark says, and then then you've got the honesty where Mark can just take off his gloves, doesn't you know,
be a bit more critical.
Yeah, obviously you're not allowed, Mark, to turn around and say this is a piece of crap, but
just smash it on the desk. Look how fragile.
You know, but you know, you can go, this is great for this stuff. I mean, I know the old version of Scuba, we started to do that before obviously everything else happened. We started like you'd have the honest section, but even then we couldn't be massively honest because it would be attached to the website.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was always tough to be brutally honest, but now we do have a bit more freedom to talk about stuff in a negative light. But also it's quite tough because I'll see it from one particular perspective. So yeah, it's like, oh well, for a recreational diver, it'll do this, that, and the other. But for a technical diver, no, they'll never touch it with a 10-inch bar pole. So yeah, we're going to start doing reviews properly again, basically. And the final thing I have on the list, so this sort of more goes into the sort of YouTube. I actually got a couple new toys from Oceans. I've got one of them here, the S1. So this was basically a Kickstarter company who created their own dive computer. They've sent me a couple. I've done a video on them. But with everything that's going on, I can't go out and sort of get them wet at the moment. So we're hoping that I can hold on to them for a little bit longer, just until things start to open up and actually get them wet. So you'll definitely be seeing at least one video where I'm talking about it. Hopefully, you might be able to see a second one where I actually get them wet and physically use them in the water. But yeah, stay tuned for that. That takes some logistics and a lot of things to change in the country and the world, basically, before I can do that. But yeah, if you are interested in the S1, let us know any questions, because I do have a couple of them for some time. I've got a time limit on how long I can keep them, basically. But yeah,
that's cool.
Hopefully, more videos coming soon.
Yeah, hopefully, because again, previous Scuba product reviews and stuff mainly was what we used to sell. But obviously the company that own us now, it's like a whole section. Not that we have free reign, but we can pretty much do what we want, and we can contact who we want, and we can kind of get sponsors and stuff that what we want. Whereas we couldn't really. I mean, we could do it, but it would have to go through a chain of basically to the CEO to give it the over approval, and if he didn't like it, then that was that. Whereas we've got a lot more. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah, we've just got a lot more freedom where we can get the Ocean's computer. We don't have an affiliate with them or anything. They've just sent it to us. We're going to get a review, so then you guys can watch the review, and then if you like it, then you can invest in hopefully a future piece of kit, But yeah, I'm editing those videos at the moment, so they might be live this time next year. Maybe. Bit of a busy boy. Yeah, that's cool, man. Right, so should I get straight on with the social then, Marky Mark? Cool, man. So YouTube, we've got a very exciting announcement. The product overview videos, which everyone loves. No one hates them. They're not controversial one little bit. No,
they're a stopgap. They were the best that we could do at the time.
Yeah, we needed to talk about products, and that was the only way we can really talk about products other than like a monthly new in show. Basically, the last one of those is going to be going on the 28th. So this Sunday will be the last. You will not see any more overview videos. That's because we've sorted out the logistics of Mark getting products from our warehouse now. There seems to be a line, doesn't there? Like a go-to. So we've sorted out a system, or should I say Mark has sorted out a system which involves Greg. If you ever used to watch the old daily Decos, damn it, I said it, Deco Stop podcasts, you would have known Greg. He is involved in helping. He's been quite a big help actually in sorting that out for us, which is really, really good. So yeah, that's exciting. The fact that now they've stopped, because there was one comment on there on one of the latest ones, they're like, "Oh, what's the point of this video? Blah blah blah. I'm going to dislike every single one until you stop doing them." And I replied with, "Just wait, mate. Just wait. You're only going to be disliking 2 because
good lord,
they're going to So that's why it's a bit controversial. But yeah, they're stopped. They're going to end February. There's going to be a new weekly show because although we got reviews come in, obviously. Basically, in a nutshell, obviously we've got the Apex unboxing videos, and Mark will start filming, I think, as of next week, some products that he's got. But there's not a steady stream, a steady flow. It's going to be a bit hit and miss for probably the next couple of weeks as we get back into routine of doing those actual proper reviews. So we're going to do a show called Diving Brief. Basically, think of it as new in. So the new in where Mark just... Well, new in's obviously what's new on the website. Mark talks about it. But this one's going to be kind of Mark's picks. It's a bit of new. It's a bit of restock. It's just things that have piqued Mark's interest on the website that he wants to talk to you guys and girls about. So that's going to be going live every Wednesday at around about midday. We're going to that's going to be there for the foreseeable, I think. Well, we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. Again, what might happen is as soon as we get a steady flow of product reviews, then the diving brief will stop because you're going to be getting every day or whatever. You're going to be getting products, and then that format we might tweak it so then new in will look like the diving brief, and then maybe the diving brief will become monthly. That will be the new in basically. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. So you're still going to get some product stuff. It's going to be loosely based on how the overviews look. So there's going to be still images and stuff. But yeah, rather than it being a short video about a snorkel, there's going to be, 4, 5, 6 products that Mark wants to talk about. That's on the website, which is pretty cool. So you can now vote for or you will be able to vote for surface intervals. So back in the day when we were the old Simply Scuba, Friday features, which is basically what surface intervals are now, you used to vote for them. And now you can do that again. Obviously, we were getting used to what the channel was going to be down the future, and now we're kind of reverting back to what we were doing, which we wanted to do anyway. But obviously, working from home, there's challenges. We didn't want to commit to too much things and it not work out. But basically, we've got a groove now, haven't we, Mark?
Yeah.
So now we're in that groove. We're going to go right. Okay, let's open up the vote again. So you guys and girls can now vote for what surface interval Mark talks about in the previous. So they go live on a Friday, and so then the vote basically is for the next Saturday's show. So obviously that gives that gives you girls and guys time to vote for it, write to Mark to script it, film it, send it over to me, and to edit. And eventually, once this lockdown thing is over, it's going to be even quicker and even easier to do that. So, which is exciting. But if you don't know how to vote, you've got to go over to our community tab. If you watch us mainly on YouTube, you can go to our page, community tabs there at the top. Or in your notification in your subscription feed, you can select videos and posts. And basically, if you have that switched on, you get all the videos that your subscribers have, but then also you get any posts that they put up in the community tab as well, all in one feed. So I would highly recommend doing that. But the first vote will be going live on next Friday, which is the 5th of March, which is exciting. And also there's been tweaks to Ask Mark. So obviously Ask Mark has had several name changes. It was kind of we did it on the fly, didn't we? We didn't really want to do any more daily decos, so we literally just switched it on its head and did some Q&As. But basically, I've tweaked the titles. They were getting okay views. Basically, I now have put part of a question or a highlight of a question in the video title. So we're going to see how that works out. But yeah, so if you go, oh, hold on, where's Ask Mark? It's still there. It's still got the hashtag Ask Mark in the title. Yeah, it's just got a bit of a title. Podcast. So, Daily Scuba News is no longer going to be a podcast. Obviously, we've been running DSN for the past nearly a month now. Not many people listen to it as a bite-sized story. I thought there would be more people listening to it. But also as well, I think it kind of cluttered up our feed a little bit. So, basically, the Daily Scuba News, is no longer going to be a podcast. But we have restructured how the podcasts are going to work. So Surface Interval, which as obviously on the Saturday, that is being turned into a podcast. I'm stripping the audio from Mark. I'm overlaying or dubbing some bits myself to kind of make it flow as a podcast. And then, hey presto. So if you like the Surface Interval, there's now a podcast version for you to listen to. What I might do if it proves successful is go back to older videos that necessarily aren't Surface Interval and see if I can rip the audio, take the music out, because again, I don't have any of the original files because that was the old Simply Scuba, so that might be a mission. But I might see if I can repost some older stories on there, which would be really, really cool. And obviously, Deco Stop Podcast is a podcast that's obviously going to stay. But basically, the new schedule. So there's a new schedule for the podcast. So they're all going to go live at 10 a.m. So on Monday, you're going to get Ask Mark, which will happen now. So if you normally if you normally listen to Ask Mark on your feed, that normally goes live on a Friday. That's now going to go live on Monday. Wednesdays, you're going to have the Surface Interval podcast, which is pretty cool. And then Saturday, as always, you're going to get your Deco Stop podcast. So you're going to get 3 shows a week rather than us littering your feed. I think it was 6 days a week. I think Sunday was the only time that we weren't posting anything. So, it just ties it up a bit, doesn't it? It's quite nice. And finally, I know this is a long one, social. There's a lot to go through.
It's truth.
Our Instagram posts are now going to be going live at 6 p.m, our main ones. And that's basically based on Instagram analytics. So a lot of people that watch, or not watch, but visit our Instagram page or look at our posts are at 6, so that's going to change. Basically, what that also means is that now our Daily Scuba News, the Ask Mark, or the Daily Deco that normally goes live around about in the morning or in the afternoon, that's dedicated slot. So between 12 and 1, whenever we remember to press the post button on that video, because we've got to do it manually, that's when those are going to go live. So you're going to get a nice news story or an article around about midday, 1 o'clock, and then at 6 you're going to get, I don't know, a link to a video, a product, a generic scuba diving image, or like a podcast, or I don't know. There's lots of other bits that happen on there, but there's a lot going on Instagram, but it's working out really, really well. Let's have a look. Yep, so fill in the space. And also as well, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's embraced Ask Mark on Instagram. We've only done 1 episode, or technically by the time this goes live, there's going to be 2 episodes up there. Obviously, I say in the video, put your hashtag AskMark in there to get your questions in, and people are starting to do it on Instagram, which I was well happy about. So thank you very much for that. It's doing really, really well. A little bit more than I thought. I was a little bit surprised, but it's always nice to be surprised, isn't it? It's always nice to be surprised. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watching this on Instagram right now. Our feed is lit up like a Christmas tree. Like our percentages of our insight percentages of how many people are now looking at our pictures, our videos, it's blowing through the water, and it's doing better than I thought. Considering Instagram's always been a tricky one for us to master. It's gone in various stages where it was just products, it was just lifestyle, then it was a bit of product, but basically I took it on board that whatever we do here on YouTube, I'm going to try and replicate over on Instagram. And so far, not to big myself up, but it's doing pretty goddamn well. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to stop blabbering.
Okay. So moving on to the news stories. What news stories did we talk about during the week? So I spoke about a chap from Cornwall, a nice guy. He actually reached out to us after he saw the video, and he runs a like an antique like reclaimed reclamation store, I think they called it, in Cornwall, called Shiver Me Timbers, and he found, or someone found an old sea mine that had just washed up ashore, and sort of called him up, and he like raced over. He managed to work out that it was a dummy training mine. Completely inert, completely safe. So he basically rolled it home, and
just
was like trying to.
This guy rolling.
Yeah.
You walk in your dog's like, what the hell is Jimmy doing? Oh my god!
Don't worry, clonk.
Why is it ticking?
And so he was trying to work out sort of what to do with it, and he did the right thing. He contacted the receiver of wrecks here in the UK, which you should do if you do find any kind of wreckage, and they worked it out that it was actually the Royal Navy, and they of course told the Royal Navy, and then the Royal Navy turned up and took it back, which it sucks basically.
Yeah. Would have made a nice table, cut it in half, put a bit of glass over the top.
Yeah, that's kind of what he did. He used it as like a footrest, and there's a picture of him with like a mug of coffee on top of it.
That's cool.
but yeah, he's like, they took it away, and hopefully they're gonna like reuse it, not just throw it on a scrap heap, but who can tell. But actually, the afternoon that we put that news story live, there was a new story, because everyone had seen the original news that had been taken away, and I think someone else had a second mine effectively, and they were like, "Oh, do you want this?" And he's like, "Yes, please." Yeah. So I think he does actually have one, and I believe that he can keep this one. So it kind of had a happy ending.
Well, otherwise, he wanted to keep quiet about it, but then he told us, and now we've just ruined it. So now the Royal Navy, they're going to turn up like, we watched Deco stuff. You've got another mine. We want it.
And what did I talk about yesterday? Oh yeah, so a Czech freediver has broken a new world record, which was previously set in 2016, I think. Date could be wrong, but it was the swimming under ice, unaided. He swam 80.9 meters. I don't know what that is in feet or yards or whatever. And he was wearing only a pair of Speedos. The ice was 30 centimeters thick. And that was one of the requirements of this world record attempt. So physically cutting through the ice, he said that the whole thing, it took I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was like just over a minute just to swim that distance. And he said it went a lot faster than he had sort of trained for, and he felt great at the end of it. So yeah.
But what they didn't show is that his nipples cut through the 30 centimetre ice.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Mate, that's amazing. Fair play to him.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of far better world record attempts to undertake, but whoa.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because of the whole mammalian dive reflex and all that kind of stuff, to be able to hold your breath whilst in cold water, but no. Especially just wearing a pair of Speedos, because he wasn't allowed to wear a diving suit, fins, or cap. It didn't specify like swimming goggles or a mask, but I think it was just a pair of Speedos going that direction.
Where you go?
Woof.
Wow, man. I would go, right, it doesn't say anything about a water bottle just around the crotchal area.
You mean a hot water bottle?
Yeah. Yeah. My stories, that's amazing though. My stories were a bunch of pilot whales stranded in New Zealand, and it took 2 days to get them basically back into the water. Barely anyone watched it, so thanks guys, thanks for that. That was brilliant. Really appreciate that work that I put into that.
Life is depressing enough than talking about stranded pilot whales.
Well, spoilers, mate. You wait to the first story that we're going to talk about in a minute. And my second one was BZAC heading over to Egypt, and they've now officially got BZAC Egypt on board, and they're looking to conquer 30% of, I don't know, the training agencies out there actually featuring and having BZAC Egypt on board, which got shared and retweeted by BZAC on Twitter and on Instagram. So thanks for that, guys. I think that's nearly on 1,000 views.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Because out in Egypt, you can throw a stone and you'll find a paddy dive centre. Yeah. So if they can sort of branch out and have different sort of sects. I don't know how it's going to work because BZAC, at least out here, as far as learning to dive, it's quite a long kind of course. It's almost like an apprenticeship. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's more for existing divers.
I didn't know this until I obviously did research on the article, but obviously they've got BZAC Japan, BZAC South Korea, no, not South Korea, just BZAC Korea, and they've got BZAC Thailand. So they've probably gone to them and they've looked at the UK base, and that's probably a holiday one as well. So they've probably got a shortened version of that, and then they've incorporated what they do in England or Britain, should I say, and then they put that in the Egypt model. I don't know, but it seems to be proven popular. I thought, because not to badmouth it, but as soon as you put a training agency in a title of a video, you have a tendency of getting other training agencies back up, or you get the people that hate it and the people that love it, and it stirs. But the comments of that video, actually, everyone's like, actually, no, this is a good thing. It's going to be good to have BZAC on there to not muddy the water, but to make things a bit different. So it's not everyone that goes on holiday in Egypt. You're always going to guarantee to get a paddy cert. So now there's a bit more offering out there. Another hand to the deck, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the updates. So let's talk about. So these next stories, they're a little bit too short to be full DSNs or Daily Scuba News. Like that. So we thought we'd have a chinwag. So what's the first one, Mark? I bet no one can.
The first one,
no one can guess.
Yeah, first one follows on from your earlier sort of news story, and this was more stranded pilot whales, except these are in Indonesia, and they just sort of beached themselves, and what was it? Only one out of the 52 managed to survive. Yeah,
at least with my story, 28 of the 49 survived.
Okay, so slightly better odds. But they're just literally having to dig these massive graves to dispose of them. I don't think it goes into any great details as to why this happens.
They were just sunbathing. They were just going to rest, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Why are you burying me?"
Yeah. Oh, it's a bit dry. So they are performing autopsies on them just before they bury them to try and work out why. But
for a second there, I thought you were going to say they're performing autopsies on them just before they die.
Before they're buried.
Yeah, no. But I thought you were going to say before they died. I was like, that's not an autopsy, that's murder.
That is a murder. That is a cause of death.
Cut them open.
Yeah, bizarre. So. Who knows? Hopefully, the autopsies will sort of reveal something that will shed some light on it. Because especially when it's when it's like one that gets kind of like lost and trapped in shallow water, you can kind of understand. But when it's like 52 of them, that usually suggests some kind of human interference. It's usually some kind of sonar or something. Yeah. So. Who knows? The next news story is another very clickbait headline from KitchenerToday.com. I've never heard of.
I love that. I go there for all my news sources.
But apparently, a new scientific study has linked dog waste in Canada to a change in fish population. So,
Mark, you have to say urban. It's the trendy fish.
It is, it is. More specifically, the creek chub in the Grand River. They basically monitored how the sort of the runoff from dog waste into the rivers can affect certain fish species, and they studied this one specific species, creek chub, and they found quite a few things. That one, their foraging behaviour was the efficiency had reduced, so they weren't eating as much. They weren't hiding from predators, and they weren't reproducing as much, and they basically kind of worked its way sort of up through the water stream to work out that it could actually be coming from sort of animal waste that has just been sort of collected and put in like landfill and stuff because of the high concentrations of nitrogen, phosphorus, as well as bacteria like E. coli and other parasites. Effectively, they end up sort of leaching out and ending up into the waterways near these like landfills in very high concentrations, and it directly affects different fish species. So
nice one, dog owners.
What can you do?
I mean, the ironic thing is, then you love fish. Problem solved.
What do cats famously eat?
They corn mince.
Corn.
Mince,
No. I mean, ironically, this is responsible dog owners because they are collecting after their pets, and that waste just ends up in landfill. So maybe we need to start thinking about what we can do with it, because dogs gonna poop. There's no denying that. Dogs gonna poop.
Dry it out. Maybe there could be like dog poo fertilizer. You dry it out, and then you can, like, I don't know. It gets all dusty though, doesn't it? It's weird. Dried up dog poo's weird.
I have no idea. Anyway, it is outside of my speciality to know what to do with that. So the next news story is on the sawfish in Queensland in specifics. So these are the very sort of flat but really long nose with the teeth coming out, kind of sawfish, not a sword fish, but a saw fish.
All right, I put sword in the title. Leave me alone.
And they're basically becoming endangered. And again, another study has looked into sort of potential causes, and they basically say that if nothing is done to curb, one, overfishing, because apparently they're being fished and caught, and two, destruction of their natural habitat, which a lot of the time is mangroves, that actually, they might go extinct sooner than we expected. So we definitely need to sort of look into that, and hopefully sort of prevent it.
Fantastic.
Oh, of course, apparently they're caught in fishing nets, and they're sold for novelty, medicine, and as cockfighting spurs. So not only are they ground up for Chinese medicine, but they're the little teeth they're put on like cockerels for them to fight. So
I approve of that.
We need to.
I don't.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
So hopefully we can do something about it. But as ever with a lot of these countries. What can you do? Need to change the entire culture before we can actually sort of make some kind of process.
You know that ain't going to happen. Right, on that depressing note, let's quickly swift and move on, because there was no positive news this week. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, no, I don't know. Finding a sea mine and breaking new world record.
Yeah, it's true.
BZAC expanding its boundaries. They're all right.
Okay, so
I'm going to move
smaller versions of news were rubbish.
Oh yeah, they were all a bit rough. Moving on to my product of the week, which is an XDeep product, and mainly because I've been writing a lot of product descriptions and looking into great details as to the products. I have chosen the XDeep Zen, but more specifically the deluxe version, because for a lot of divers who are thinking about getting into backplate and harness kind of setups, but they're just single cylinder divers, traveling divers, the Zen is a great starting point for that kind of diver, because if you take a look at the backplate, so a standard scuba diving backplate is pretty traditional. The design hasn't really changed for 30 something years at least, and it could do with an upgrade, to be honest. And that's what XDeep basically said and went, well, you know what, let's can we improve this? And it turns out, yes, you can improve the design of a backplate. So they instead of just that standard traditional like almost rectangular shape, they expanded it out and they turned it into more of an X shape, so that the actual points where it's touching on your shoulders and sort of resting on your back, it's much more ergonomic and much more comfortable. Comes in 2 different sizes, a small and a large, so that's depending on basically your height. So the back plate is ever so slightly shorter on the small version, so it's going to be more comfortable. It's not going to dig in your hips or anything. And it's made out of a special alloy. I'm sure they do go into sort of specifics of what the actual metal is, but incredibly lightweight. It's not adamantium, and they've skeletonized it as well, so key sections are actually cut out, so you keep the strength and rigidity of the backplate, but you reduce the overall weight, so for traveling it's a lot easier. The harness itself, so there's 2 different versions. The one that we're sort of linking is the deluxe version, which has all the padding and all the adjustability in it. There's also a standard version, which is a bit more DIR. It's not 100% DIR because it's not a single piece of sort of webbing harness, but it's pretty darn close. So, but the deluxe version, all sorts of padding all over it, so it's much more comfortable if you're just wearing a rash vest. So again, for traveling divers, it's perfect. And it does have quick adjustment and quick release buckles on the shoulder straps. And the way that they've kind of designed the harness is that instead of your shoulder straps going down and then just becoming your waistband in front of you, it actually jumps back up the backplate a little bit and then becomes your waistband a little bit higher up, which actually means that you get longer shoulder straps and a bit more space to literally get in and out of the BCD, which is very, very clever. The crotch strap itself has a V-shaped crotch strap, so instead of just a single piece of webbing going from the front of the waistband up towards the small of your back, which in between your legs can rub, they actually have 2, so it creates that kind of YV shape, so it's a bit more comfortable down there, and you also get 2 attachment points, 2 D-rings down in the small of your back, so as far as storage it's a bit better. And the wing itself, instead of just a traditional O-shaped donut, they've shrunk down the top of the wing and they've kind of increased the lower section. I think they call it like a trapezoid or something. So actually, when you're on the surface, it holds you a bit more upright. When you're under the water, it holds you horizontal. So very, very clever. And they've just eliminated the elbow at the top of the inflator that attaches onto the wing, so that corrugated hose just goes straight into the wing. So that improves airflow and just means that you can always inflate and deflate without getting any air trapped. So all around, very, very clever. So it's great for the traveling single cylinder diver. If you're thinking about moving onto twins, all you have to do is take the wing off and then just fit a different wing, probably the NX project wing, and you can dive it with twins. So very clever, definitely worth checking it out. There's going to be a link down in the description below, or just head over to simplyscuba.com and just type in Zen, Z-E-N, and it'll come up with all of your different options. Yeah, I like it. XDeep, very good at sort of twisting a lot of concepts and just making them better. Everything from bolt snaps to BCDs. Yeah, they're definitely an up-and-coming brand, definitely worth checking out.
Had to get bolt snaps in there, didn't you?
I know.
Always XDeep bolt snaps. Always. Do we actually have them in stock again?
We have a few. They sell out really quickly.
Well, stop buying them, Mark. Okay.
I do have one with me now.
Okay, that's cool. Right. Question of the week. Mark, how would you encourage your non-diving friends to scuba dive?
Fire is quite a good one. People renownedly afraid of fire, so you just kind of like herd them towards the water or a dive center. How do you get a non-diver? So Social media is quite good for it. So if you're posting lots of amazing pictures of you having fun on a dive boat and showing off the sort of amazing things under the water, that's quite a good way to sort of get people into it. Literally just take them for a try dive. When things are relatively normal again, then you can book try dives at your local dive centre, like local pools and stuff, and just kind of get them to at least try it, so that they can, because a try dive is pretty cheap. It's normally like 20 quid or however much the dive centre charges. They're not bonkers expensive. They don't take up particularly long. It's probably about 3 hours or something in total, and that just gets them under the water just to experience it. And then if they catch the bug, then just don't keep hounding them where it's like, oh, stop it, that's annoying, but at least kind of mention it to them that, oh, hey, I'm going out diving this weekend. If you're qualified, you can come along with us. But yeah, it's just kind of like show them what they're missing out on, basically. So social media and all that kind of stuff. If you sort of like lots of like amazing Instagram posts and all that kind of stuff, if you ever get a chance to sort of get on their phone, get on their social media accounts and like all sorts of scuba diving stuff. That's probably not ethical, but yeah, just show them what they're missing out on, basically. And so post, if you do sort of take lots of pictures and stuff, then they'll hopefully see that and feel like they're sort of missing out. And hopefully we can get more divers. Just explain, just bring it up casually in conversation, and then just sort of discuss how quick and easy it is to get qualified. It's not complicated, and then hopefully something in their brain will just go, oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, let's go watch it.
Cool.
Yeah, or just strap them to a chair and make them watch BBC's Blue Planet on repeat for about 12 hours.
Cool. So
that'll either make or break them.
It's going down the Clockwork Orange route. Okay, it's good to know that. Good to know that.
The little eyedroppers.
With salt water. No, that'd be horrible.
No, that would make it worse.
No, don't do that. Freshwater diving. All right, there we go. Yeah, that does make sense. Social media is the easiest and the most logical step forward. Definitely.
Yeah, I got into it at school, basically. It was like an elective that I chose to go for, and that kind of got me under the water, and I was like, oh yeah, this is really cool. And then nothing really happened until after university, and I was looking for work, and then I decided to volunteer abroad in Madagascar, and that's what sort of got me into scuba diving as a profession. But just for recreational diving, I imagine nowadays social media is probably one of the better ways, because you're seeing so many amazing creators sort of uploading just amazing videos and photos and stuff. So and the equipment really intrigued me. I love all the scuba diving equipment, so share those kind of things as well. Pictures of you in the equipment, and you go, oh yeah, John looks cool. Maybe I should get into that.
Yeah. John, mate. John's not cool,
John.
Mate. He ain't cool. He thinks
he is
cool.
when he's wearing a dry suit.
Nah, he's not. Looks like a dork. Anyway, have you had any success stories of getting your non-diving buddies back into diving? Let us know in the comments on Instagram as well as on YouTube. And that's it today. So I'm going to round it up nice and neatly. The majority of this video is so long is because of me, so apologies about that. But hey, look, a lot goes on during the social posts. I have a lot of stuff to do. And that's what this show is about. It's just a general chinwag of updating everyone about what we're doing. Anyway, shut up, Sean, do the outro. So obviously this is a podcast, so you can listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching this on YouTube, head over to our podcast. Our go-to is Spotify. That seems to give us the best analytics, I guess, is the word, because other than that, it's a bit of a wild west, and you kind of got to guess on where people are watching, how they're watching, and how long for. But yeah, if you're on Spotify or even Apple Music, follow us over there. That would be great. And obviously, like I said earlier, our podcast now, you've got the Surface Interval podcast, you've got Ask Mark, and obviously you've got the Deco Stop. And the Deco Stop really is the sole. Again, it's on YouTube and everything else, but it really is aimed for the listener, should we say? That's about it. Anything else you want to add, Mark? I mean, my list is boring here.
Yeah. Just remember, use hashtag #AskMark if you've got any questions about anything regarding scuba diving. If you want to check out some of our scuba diving merchandise, head over to teesprings.com and search for something like Scuba Dude or Cave Shark, and we should come up. If you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a little banner underneath this video where you can check out our latest merchandise. Everything from t-shirts and socks to hoodies and stickers, all sorts of bits and bobs. Definitely worth checking it out. And of course, check out the website simplyscuba.com for the latest and greatest scuba diving equipment. Yes. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.
Stay classy, scuba divers.
The Deco Stop podcast is produced and recorded by Simply Scuba, the UK's #1 dive store. Visit today at simplyscuba.com.